First, the headlines. Prime Minister says the government has decided to hold massive crackdown against smuggling of essential commodities in the country. UN Secretary-General has termed the opening of Kartarpur corridor as a practical example of Pakistan's desire for peace and interfaith harmony. Participants of International Refugee Summit in Islamabad have highly appreciated Pakistan's generosity in hosting millions of Afghan refugees. Special Assistant on Information says UN Secretary-General's remarks about Kashmir is a victory of Pakistan's stance on the issue. Pakistan has conducted successful flight test of air-launched cruise missile Raad-2. China says it supports dialogue among all relevant parties in Afghanistan and welcomes the expected US-Taliban deal. And now the news in detail. Prime Minister Imran Khan says the government has decided to hold massive crackdown against smuggling in the country. Chairing a high-level meeting in Islamabad this evening, he said the government will not tolerate elements involved in smuggling of food items, resulting in artificial inflation across the country. The Prime Minister directed the Ministry of Interior to prepare and present a report containing details of anti-smuggling measures within 48 hours. Prime Minister Imran Khan has reiterated government's resolve to provide immediate relief to low-income people in terms of gas and electricity prices. He was chairing a second high-level meeting in Islamabad this evening to review prices of gas and petroleum products in the country. The Prime Minister said that the government will take every possible measure to reduce inflation and provide relief to salaried persons. Prime Minister's Special Assistant on Petroleum, Nadeem Babur, gave a detailed briefing to the Prime Minister on government's measures to reduce electricity and gas tariff. The Prime Minister directed the Special Assistant to prepare a roadmap on urgent basis for bringing down petrol, diesel and gas tariff. Prime Minister Imran Khan will inaugurate Ehsaas Asset Transfer Program on Friday. In a press release today issued by Poverty Alleviation and Social Safety Division, the government will spend 15 billion rupees on this program and provide small assets to poor segments of society. The program is commencing in 375 rural union council in 23 of the poorest districts across the 4 provinces of Pakistan. The program has set a target of providing around 200,000 assets to the deserving households, including 60% women and 30% beneficiaries. This program is complementary to Ehsaas Kafalat, and through which the government will provide cash stipends of 2,000 rupees to around 7 million most deserving women by end of the year. The UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres visited Darbar Sahib Kartarpur corridor today, where he was briefed about the steps taken by the government for facilitating being provided to Sikh community. He was told that purpose of opening Kartarpur corridor is to provide an easy access to Sikh community across border, and this is a practical proof of interfaith harmony being ensured by Pakistan. Later talking to media persons, the UN Secretary-General said opening of corridor is a good step and it will promote tolerance and interfaith harmony. Secretary-General also administered anti-polio vaccine to children up to 5 years of age at a local school in Lahore. On the occasion, talking to media, he said fatal disease of polio can effectively be fought out through joint and concerted efforts. He acknowledged that Pakistan is now a more safe country than ever before. This is Radio Pakistan. Pakistan has welcomed UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres' offer in resolving outstanding issues between Pakistan and India. This was stated by Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi while talking to media in Islamabad today after the concluding ceremony of 2-day International Refugee Summit marking 40 years of Afghan refugees' presence in Pakistan. He said Indian reaction to the UN Secretary-General's offer shows India is avoiding resolution of the outstanding issues. Earlier, addressing concluding session of the conference, The foreign minister said the participants of the conference applauded the unparalleled solidarity and hospitality of Pakistan and Iran and commended their inclusive policies towards Afghan refugees. The conference recognized and highly appreciated Pakistan's generosity and progressive policies that have enabled millions of Afghan refugees and nationals to access refuge, health, education, livelihood, and social mobility without any discrimination. The participants stressed that ultimate solution lies in Afghanistan and that voluntary repatriation and sustainable reintegration is the preferred solution for the majority of Afghan refugees. The conference acknowledged that the Afghanistan-Pakistan Action Plan for Peace and Solidarity could yield peace dividends for the entire region, provided that there is a firm political will to implement it. The conference was attended by more than 500 participants, including the Prime Minister Imran Khan, the Secretary-General of the United Nations, the second Vice President of Afghanistan, the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, ministers and other high-ranking representatives of the government. Prime Minister's Special Assistant on Information and Broadcasting, Dr. Firdaus Ashiq says, UN Secretary-General's remarks about Kashmir is a victory of Pakistan's stance on the issue. Addressing a news conference in Islamabad this afternoon, she welcomed the statement and expressed hope that the United Nations will play its due role in resolving the issue in lines with the UN Security Council's resolutions. She urged the United Nations to play its due role in stopping massive human rights violations committed by Indian troops in occupied Kashmir. She said that the rights of minorities are not protected in India due to extremist policies of BJP-led regime. The Special Assistant said that Antonio Guterres also urged the world to come forward in repatriating millions of Afghan refugees who are being hosted by Pakistan for over 4 decades. She said peace and stability of the region is linked with the peace in Afghanistan, and Pakistan is fully supporting the peace process for a stable and prosperous Afghanistan. Pakistan has conducted successful flight test of air-launched cruise missile Raad-2, according to ISPR. Raad-2, with a range of 600 kilometers, significantly enhances air-delivered strategic standoff capability on land and at sea. The weapon system is equipped with state-of-the-art guidance and navigation systems, ensuring engagement of targets with high precision. President Dr. Arif Alvi, Prime Minister Imran Khan, the Chairman, Joint Chiefs of Staff Committee and the Services Chiefs have congratulated the scientists and engineers on the successful conduct of missile test. Radio Pakistan has decided to discontinue its Urdu news bulletins of 6 p.m. hours in the early morning and 100 hours in the midnight from tomorrow. Similarly, the news bulletins of 1300 hours and 1400 hours on Friday have also been discontinued due to Friday prayers. China has expressed hope that the peace deal between the United States and Taliban would be implemented smoothly and created conditions for the final political resolution of the Afghan issue. This has stated by Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Zheng Shuang during his regular briefing in Beijing. He said Beijing supports dialogue between all relevant parties in Afghanistan and welcomes the news that the US and Taliban are expected to sign a deal. Zheng Shuang said that China stood ready to step up its cooperation with all parties to the Afghan issue and the international community, and for peace, stability, and development in Afghanistan. Minister for Inter-Provincial Coordination Dr. Fahmida Mirza has expressed the confidence that international sports have revived in Pakistan due to satisfactory security situation. She said this during her visit to Pakistan Sports Board in Islamabad today to examine renovation work prior to the Davis Cup tie. She said a European team is visiting Pakistan for Davis Cup for the first time, which is great success of Pakistan. Opening ceremony of 5th edition of Pakistan Super League will be held at National Stadium, Karachi on Thursday. And finally, the weather. Mainly dry weather is likely to prevail in most parts of the country during the next 24 hours. However, dust thunderstorm, rain with snowfall over hills is expected at isolated places in Islamabad, Upper Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Potahar region, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir. And that is the end of the news. For more news and analysis, log on to our website radio.gov.pk.